Alright guys, let's look at the foldable entitled Proving Lines Are Parallel. Now when we're going to prove that lines are parallel, you may want to make a note that we will always use the converse theorems from this chapter. Okay. In fact, as we go through geometry, that is one of the only ways that we can prove lines are parallel. Alright, so these are all proofs. And you'll probably see a few proofs in your homework as well as on your test. So let's go ahead and do the proof number 1 in this packet. Alright, here's proof number 1. Alright, so we're given that AB, and it has it marked, and CD are parallel. Okay, so that's number 1. And then we're also given that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. The third thing we're given is that angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. Alright, so 4, it says angle 1, which is right here, is congruent to angle 3. Okay, so how do we know that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent? We know that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent because these two lines are parallel, and if you use this as a transversal, angle 1 and angle 3 are corresponding angles. So we're going to say the corresponding angles theorem. Okay, so for those of you who don't see it, here's AB, here's CD, here's the transversal, here's angle 1, and here's angle 3. Okay, that's just without all the added stuff from that diagram. All right. So now, how do we know that angle 2 is congruent to angle 3? Okay, well, if I look here, angle 1 is congruent to 2, and 2 is congruent to angle 3. And 1 is congruent to angle 3, sorry. Couldn't I substitute 2 in for this one right here? Okay, so I would use substitution, and it'd be line 2 into line 4. Okay. Now if I go one step further, angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. Well, notice step 3, I know 3 and 4 are congruent, so couldn't I sub angle 3 or angle 4 in for angle 3? Okay, so this is substitution as well. And this is line 3 into line 5. Okay, well now I've shown that angles 2 and angle 4 are congruent. And if I look at this diagram, okay, what kind of angles are angle 2 and angle 4? Angle 2 and angle 4 are corresponding angles, and we know that corresponding angles, if the corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So from here I could say that BC is parallel to DE by the corresponding angles converse theorem. Alright, I know this is kind of out of order in the number of the proof, but we're just going to kind of go through like the way the packet is printed, which had to be the print that way you can fold them all together and it fits nicely. But so we're going to jump to proof number 6. Okay, so we're given that A and B is parallel to CD. Okay, so they marked that for us. And then we're also given that angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Okay, now notice here, all I did is I changed the congruent sign to equal sign, and we should know by now we can do that just by the definition of congruent. Okay, we should be past that by now. All right, now number 4, we're going to use the corresponding angles theorem, okay, or consecutive interior angles theorem, I'm sorry. And the consecutive interior angles theorem tells us that if we know two lines are parallel, then consecutive angles are supplementary. Okay, so if I look here, here's the parallel line, And here's the parallel line. So if I use this as a transversal, aren't 2 and angle 4 consecutive interior angles? They are, so I can say that angle 2 and angle 4 are supplementary, because the consecutive interior angles theorem tells us that if the lines are parallel, 2 and 4 are supplementary. Okay, well, if they're supplementary, that means they add to 180. Okay, that's just the definition of supplementary. All right, now I'm going to substitute line 3 into line 5. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite line 5 by using number 3. So 2 and 3 are equal, so I can substitute 3 in for 2. So that's what I'm going to do right here. So the measure of angle 3, I just substituted 3 in for 2, plus measure of angle 4 is 180. Okay, well, if angle 3 and angle 4 are 180, what does that mean is true about angle 3 and angle 4? That means that angle 3 and angle 4 are supplementary by the definition of supplementary. And let's look at this. If 3 and 4 are supplementary, wouldn't that mean that this line and this line have to be parallel? Because if this line and this line are parallel, okay, there's my transversal, this angle here and this angle here, these are consecutive interior angles. Okay, and the consecutive interior angle converse tells us that if the consecutive interior angles are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. So the reason for number 8 would be the consecutive interior angle converse theorem. All right, let's look at proof number 5 now. We're given that A and B are parallel. Okay, that's given. And then it says that angle 4 and angle 5 are supplementary. So if I look here, angle 4 and angle 5, what kind of angles would these be? Guys, these are consecutive interior angles. Okay, and the consecutive interior angle theorem tells us when the lines are parallel, which they are, the consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Okay, so you should know what your next step is. If you know 2 angles are supplementary, what does that mean about your next step? That means that our next step should be they add up to 180. That's just the definition of supplementary. All right, so then we're given angle 5 and angle 7 are vertical angles. So if I look here, 5 and 7, yep, those are vertical angles, and we know that just because we know the definition of vertical angles. Okay, now what do we know is true about all vertical angles? Well, we should know by now, this is nothing new, that all vertical angles are congruent. Okay, and we know that because the vertical angle congruence theorem tells us so. Okay, well, if I'm just using the definition of congruent, that means that the measure of angle 5 equals measure of angle 7. All right, now if I look at number 7, it says that 2 and 4 are vertical angles. Well, if I look up at our diagram, sure enough, 2 and 4 are vertical angles. So that's just definition of vertical angles. And then once again, we should know that that means angle 2 is congruent to angle 4 by the vertical angle congruence theorem. Okay, and now I can change the congruent to an equal. That's all I did here. It went from congruent to equal. And I can do that because of the definition of congruence. All right, on step 10, I'm going to substitute line 6 and line 9 into line 3. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite line 3. So something plus something equals 180. Okay, so line 6 tells me 5 and 4 are equal. So I can substitute 5 in for 4. All right, we should know by now that that means that angle 5 is congruent to angle 7 by the vertical angle congruence theorem. Okay, now by the definition of congruence, which is what this says here, that means that measure of angle 5 equals measure of angle 7. Okay, now I'm given that 2 and 4 are vertical angles. So 2 and 4, sure there are. And we know that by the definition of vertical angles. If we know what vertical angles are, we can look up and see that. And once again, then it follows that angle 2 has to be congruent to angle 4 by the vertical angle congruence theorem. Okay, from number 8 to number 9, our congruent sign turns into an equal sign. So hopefully by now you know that's just definition of congruence. All right, so number 10, we're going to use substitution, and we're going to substitute 6 and 9 into line 3. So I'm going to rewrite line 3, angle something plus angle something equals 180. Okay, I left the somethings there because we're going to substitute. All right, so 6 and 9. So if I look at line 6, I have angle 5 and angle 7 are the same, which means I can substitute angle 7 in for angle 5. So I'm going to put a 7 right there. And then if I look at line 9, which is right here, 2 and 4 are the same, so I can substitute 2 in for line 4. So I'd get angle 2 plus angle 7 is 180. And then I can just say angle 2 and angle 7 are supplementary. Well, guys, if they add up to 180, doesn't that mean they're supplementary? So this would just be definition of supplementary. All right, guys, I'm going to pause this one, and I highly encourage you to work through this, try to get it done on your own, and then we'll go over it. All right, this is what you should have gotten for proof number 2. All right, go ahead, try to do this proof number 3 on your own, and then we'll go over the answers. All right, guys, this is what you should have gotten for proof number 3. All right, last one, guys. This is proof number 4. Once again, go ahead and try to do this one on your own, and then I'll go through it and we'll go over the answers. All right, guys, this is what you should have gotten on this one.